Panda Hall presents How to Make a Vintage Beaded Bracelet with Bronze C Beads. This beading tutorial will show you how to make a vintage bracelet mainly using 2mm bronze C beads and 6mm Czech glass beads. The bronze color makes the bracelet more vintage. If you like vintage jewelry, I believe you will love this bracelet. So, here's what you're going to need. 2mm bronze C beads, black oval beads, 6mm glass Czech beads, 6mm abacus glass beads, tiger wire, jump rings, lobster clasp, crimp beads, flat nose pliers, and scissors. Step 1 of your vintage beaded bracelet is to cut off about 120 centimeters of tiger wire and remove the curved tips. Now slide a lobster clasp onto the middle of the wire . And thread both wires through a crimp bead and pinch the bead closed. Now that you have the crimp bead in place, slide a C bead onto both wires . Add 2 C beads onto each wire again . And cross both wires to another C bead and tighten the wires. Now add a Czech glass bead and a C bead onto each wire. Crossing both wires through a black oval bead. Now add a seed bead and a Czech glass bead again onto each wire. This time, crossing both wires through an additional seed bead. Now we're going to make the basic pattern A for a vintage beaded bracelet. Slide a seed bead onto each wire. Thread both wires to an abacus bead. And add a seed bead onto each wire again. Cross both wires through another seed bead and tighten the wires. Now add a Czech glass bead and a seed bead to each wire. And cross both wires through a black oval bead like you've done previously. Now add a seed bead and a Czech glass bead to each wire. And again, cross both wires through a seed bead. This is going to be the basic pattern A for this vintage bracelet. Continue to repeat basic pattern A several times until you get the desired length. Now that you have reached the desired length of your bracelet, slide 2 seed beads onto each wire. and cross both wires through another seed bead. Great, now we're going to begin making pattern B for this bracelet. Pass one wire back to the previous beading path until you get to the first Czech glass bead. Now add 7 seed beads to the wire. And pass the wire to the next seed bead and Czech glass bead. Now pass the wire through the next seed bead and the abacus bead until you get to the next Czech glass bead. Then, in the same method, you're going to add 7 seed beads to the wire. And pass the wire to the next seed bead and check last bead. Make sure you're patient, as working with the wires may be slightly difficult. Keep going with this pattern until you reach the last check glass bead. This is the pattern B for this vintage bracelet. Once you have finished that side, add beads to the other wire and make the other side exactly the same as you did the other side. Once you're finished, the two sides should be identical. Great! Now cross both wires through the next seed bead and tighten the wires. Then you will need to conceal the extra wires by passing them through the beading pathway. Now the final step is to use jump rings to connect the lobster clasp. Once you have connected the lobster clasp, This do-it-yourself vintage beaded bracelet is finished. We hope you are fascinated by this vintage beaded bracelet. It needs some patience and beading skills, but with a little work, you can finish this beautiful vintage beaded bracelet all on your own. So have a try. Remember, for more Panda Haul video tutorials, just stay tuned.